Hi, this is Scott with Android Guys and
Luke, what's up?
let me ask you what's up.
I see how the tables have turned.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with these lights. I got a pack of it's a 4-pack of floodlights from Ustellar.
Okay, so we're going to go with Ustellar as
I think that's what I haven't heard it pronounced. It's Ustellar.
And it's a capital U.
Yeah.
Everything else is lowercase.
Right.
So it's today's business naming conventions. It seems like Ustellar.
Ustellar could be Ustellar.
Yeah. US Teller.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, Ustellar sounds
I think
right.
Ustellar is the right thing. Anyway, so these are little floodlights. And when I say little, they're not the size of a normal floodlight that I've seen lately. They're little, like 4x3, maybe 5x3 lights.
Okay.
But they still have kind of a metal bracket that swivels 360 around them, so you could hang them from something. You can attach them to like a light bar, or you could attach them to a light stand, or you could put them on something in the house or on a stand in the yard.
So what I've done some other lights similar to this, and I've seen other people, what they'll do is they will mount them to boards.
Yeah.
And then kind of like bury that board.
So it won't wobble or move or anything.
Or if they just put it out for the winter.
Yep.
It's like a flat surface that they just kind of point it at the house a little bit. So size-wise, I looked it up. The official size is 5.5 by 4.7.
Okay. So almost like a square, but not quite.
But like a big index card.
Yeah.
Kind of size.
They were smaller than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
But they put out a whole bunch of light. They are bright.
Okay.
And 4 of them together is a lot of light. Now, the only thing that is a little interesting as far as the actual function of setting them somewhere is that the cord is permanently attached.
Yep.
So it's not a detachable cord. So you have to be cognizant of, which side that bracket is on and how that's going to sit. It doesn't want to sit on a table.
Does the cord make it want to kind of sit on the cord?
And I think that's just it being new. I think as it wears in or breaks in, that cord will move a little bit easier, but it's pretty stiff out of the box.
Yeah.
The lights work fantastic. I am very happy with the color quality of them. I'm very happy with the features that they have with the lights. I had a huge problem in setting these up. So in the box, you have the 4 lights packaged with plastic and styrofoam. Everything's packaged very nicely. Very common to, most packaging you see on electronics. There is a little piece of paper that's kind of like a compliance kind of thing. Nothing. There's no instructions.
Okay.
No instruction manual at all. It says it shows in the advertising online and on the box controlling them with an app.
Yep.
It doesn't show the name of the app.
I guess what happened here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've done some other lights similar. I've done some indoor lights, outdoor. The app that I ultimately had to use had nothing to do with the brand of the light.
Not even close.
And it was like a generic name of like Smart Life or Smart Home app.
Or Tech Life Pro.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, that sounds
right.
Ultimately,
I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I looked in the Play Store under Ustellar.
Yeah.
I even did Stellar. I looked, and then I went to their website, which they have their website listed on the box, on the outside of the box, one place only. It shows an app, and it shows the App Store and the Play Store icons. but it doesn't tell you the name of the app. And when you go into the listing on their website, it doesn't tell you the name of the app.
So I'm looking under very low on the website, and because I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
Wasn't very obvious.
Yeah.
Kindly note, when the first time to pair the light in TechLife Pro app.
That's where I found it.
Please turn on the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on your phone.
Yep.
So it's just
in a note.
Yeah, kindly note at the foot of this post. Okay.
Not even a control your lights through the TechLife Pro app available at the Play Store.
Yeah, it's like when you do it through this app, turn this feature on.
Yeah. It's interesting that was nowhere to be found. And so what happens if you don't have it paired to anything or when you first plug the light in, flashes red.
Okay.
Just a blinking red. That's it.
Does it come with a controller?
Nope.
Oh.
There's no controller. There's no buttons on the light itself and on off on the light. You just plug it in and it just blinks red until you figure out how to pair it. But once you download the TechLife Pro app, very simple, very easy to add the lights to it. And it
identifies them well. And you can name them.
You can name them.
Yep, okay.
You can change, you can set up groups for them. If you're like, hi, I'm putting 2 of these in the office. I'm putting 2 of these outside.
Yeah.
And it works with Assistant, works with Alexa.
So do you create an account with that TechLife Pro?
You do.
And then when you want to add it to your smart assistant,
you
just log in using that account, tell it.
Yeah, so you'll in the home app you'll add TechLife Pro as a third party.
So I'm installing a device through.
Yeah.
Yep. Works with Google.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's all very easy. That all works great. You have control over the light. You get a full RGB control over picking whatever color you want. You can change the color temperature of it. You can change the brightness of it. And then you can also have some presets and some classic lights.
Okay.
So if you want to change a preset to, I want orange, I can change it and it'll store it. And and so there's a lot of cool things.
Let me ask this about the colors, because I've seen some do really well, and I've seen some where green and yellow look almost the same.
Sure.
And orange and red look almost the same.
Sure.
But it does a really fantastic magenta. Purple might as well be white. Like, what is that like for these?
This has a pretty good differentiation throughout the spectrum.
Okay.
It still has some of that. You're not going to get a perfect, like, fine-tuned.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to go from orange to like a burnt umber.
Yeah.
It's going to look
so many degrees of orange.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it still gives you can even put in an RGB code if you want.
Okay.
And so if you're like, ooh, I like that color, what's the RGB code? It'll give you the closest approximation it can do to that code.
I've mixed and matched different lights in the house where 2 might be Philips Hue and 2 might be some of these types of RGB panels. And depending on the color, wow, this green looks great.
Yeah.
But then when I switch it to, turn them all crimson.
Totally different crimsons.
Yeah. This is like, wait a second, that's like a washed out, like, pink highlighter.
Sure.
And the other ones are very rich colors. So
this one has a good, I would say, light saturation, maybe. Okay. It seems like a darker red is a darker red versus a lighter red.
The photos, and I know these are photos, and I know how that works.
Sure.
They show a pretty nice spectrum of colors.
Yeah.
And they look like they're bright.
Yep.
Do you have yours indoors or outdoor?
I have them set up, 2 of them indoor right now. I haven't set any up outside yet.
Okay.
But based on the intensity inside, I don't think, especially it's a 4-pack, would have any problem lighting up a whole house.
Okay.
Now, in pictures that they have on the website and some of that stuff, it has like some different zones. If you want to set up a, upstairs to be green and downstairs to be purple, you can do that. The way that these lights spread and kind of the throw pattern of the actual beam itself, it would be pretty hard to differentiate unless you were closer to have those sections set up. That's the only thing that concerns me, is because it's a pretty wide flood.
Yeah, I'd say for something like what these photos indicate, you would almost have to put it in the corner of a room and kind of point it at everything in that room, and then you're kind of looking at it.
Right.
You walk in there and you're just going to be drawn to that light.
Right.
So have you used the assistant very much to control it?
I have. Is just in turning on and off. I haven't. Okay. Because I set a color that I liked.
Yeah.
And so I haven't changed it from that yet.
Yeah.
But from the way it looks and the way it sounds, you can say, change to red, and it will do that.
Right.
It also in the app gives you different styles, and you can have it, pulsating, and you can change the speed and brightness of that.
Like a breathing between colors.
Yep. And then you can also have it play to music.
Okay.
Music from your device.
Okay, so it picks up the music from the device.
Yep.
Okay, so if you're...
But then it also has an ambient mic that'll pick up and flash based on the wave length it's hearing. And you can also set a timer in the app.
Nice. So we're in an interesting time of year now.
Right.
So with Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, you could pretty much set these outside.
Sure.
And then they just become colors for all season.
Right.
These are IP66 rated, I'm looking at, and they also look like they will go anywhere from -20 all the way up to 40 Celsius.
Yeah.
So you're looking at basically freezing up to probably 100 degrees Fahrenheit without really worrying.
Right.
These are pretty cool. And price-wise, I see that they come in at, the 4-pack is $69.99 right now.
Yeah.
And they have a 2-year warranty.
Yep.
So these are, on paper, I'm looking at this thinking, well, I don't know the brand, but this sounds like a pretty awesome little package.
Yeah. I would say if you're looking, if you're, putting any kind of color washes or any kind of mood lighting inside or outside the house.
Yeah.
If that's something that you haven't done yet and are maybe thinking about doing, this is a really competitive price point to jump into that.
Yeah.
And like I said, once you get the app working, and once you know what to do to use them, it's very seamless. Now, the one thing, and this just, I think, comes down to the price point and kind of the genre that these lights fall into. When you're setting up the lights, you have to connect only to a 2 gig network.
Okay.
So in your house, if you're running Wi-Fi that's more current, it's probably a 5G system. If you're anything like me, my ISP provides a modem and a router that will do 5G and 2G.
Yeah.
And so I can switch over to it. It's the same password or whatever. I can switch over to it, set up the lights, and then switch back to my 5G on my phone and still control the lights. But it does require a 2G connection
for the initial setup
to run the lights. Yeah.
And teach it Wi-Fi.
Right.
Basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that is one, caveat. If you don't have a 2G system anymore, then these, you have out-teched these systems.
Yeah.
But the lights work great. So far, they don't get hot.
Yep. That was going to be another question is, can you, if they're indoor, can you kind of, I've had some where I keep them on the floor and they kind of like glow up the wall and kind of light the room. And if there's like, say the Packers are on, I'll flip a couple of them green, a couple of them yellow, and then maybe white behind the TV, and it's a whole vibe.
Yeah.
But there are sometimes where certain lights I've tested will just get, by their nature, because they're designed that way, they're very hot.
Yeah.
Or not. I don't say hot. They get very bright, and they put off some heat to them.
Yes.
How about these?
They're not terrible.
Okay.
Now, I've probably kept them on I would say about 4 hours in a over
a
continuous light. And it is warmer than when I turn them on, but I wouldn't say dangerously warm.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't reached. Some of them that I've seen are like, ooh, don't touch that light after it turns off, or wait a second.
So that brings up another point of if they're outside, and I've seen
Right.
this with lights, is when traditionally I would put floodlights at Christmas. I might point a couple green ones at the house or red, and they get super hot, and I have no problem with snow melting or collecting on them.
Sure.
They would just kind of clean that off, where some of these you might have to actually go out there.
Yeah, that remains to be seen.
Hot, you'll have to kind of maybe knock that snow off.
Right.
But they do look really cool when they glow under that snow too.
Right. Yeah.
That's a whole effect in its own.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is cool. I'm definitely interested in checking these out. And again, that was
Ustellar.
And these are the tank.
Yeah.
The smart RGB floodlights.
Yep. And it's a 4-pack.
4-pack for about $70. All right. Thank you, Luke.
No problem.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.